hand off it. Dude.
They definitely didn't like that. Hey guys, Tanner here. No, you haven't seen me in a while, but I think it's finally time that I talk about some of the stuff that happened with Mindseed TV and hunting Purgatory. You know, I needed some time off, some of the stuff we experienced and the levels we took some things. It was kind of getting to me mentally. I think my mental health was suffering a little bit and I just needed some time off. So it's actually been a few years since I've done any investigations and really talked about any of this stuff with anyone. So I'm finally ready to bring it to you guys. So we're actually gonna be doing a series of videos on this channel, me and Colton, that are basically just filling in the gaps. So the stuff that you guys didn't know, some of the stuff that happened behind the scenes, and different episodes of Hunting Purgatory that just kind of need a little more explaining. We do plan to do investigations again. Right now, we're just gonna be running videos like this until we kind of build up the channel a little bit and have the means to go on investigations. But we've already got a list ready and we're ready to give you guys the type of content you wanna see. Day one, let's get into it. We're gonna be talking about an episode that was really highly viewed that you guys loved. We're gonna talk about the first time we went to Grandpa Jack's house.
My grandfather Jack died here a couple months ago. He left the house to me in his will.
So showing up to the house, we didn't have a ton of context. We knew that the dude that reached out to us via email had inherited the home and he knew some weird stuff was going on there. And he basically wanted us to verify that it was safe or a good idea to move into the house.
He left the house to me in his will, but when I'm here staying the night, I notice a presence.
So he reached out and he had a little bit of hesitation in selling the home or getting rid of it. It had been in his family a long time. There was a lot of history there, but he knew that there was some creepy stuff happening. He had seen some of our episodes. He knew we had the skill set required to kind of verify what he thought was going on. So we took him up on the offer and we showed up to conduct an investigation.
It's becoming kind of difficult for me to deal with.
So just approaching the house, you could feel an energy immediately. And I was relatively new with dealing with investigations that were of this caliber. This level of activity, this level of energy, it was just something that I hadn't experienced a lot. So I had a nervous energy already going into it. We heard the church bells ring. And I could feel some type of presence literally approaching the house. So I knew we were probably in for a pretty wild night. Walking in, we see this long hallway with doors on either side, a grand piano sitting there in the hallway, and I hadn't used the SLS camera a lot. I was pretty much a rookie when it came to that camera, and right away, a figure was detected by the camera right next to the piano. I've kind of learned over the years doing these investigations and filming the show that when I feel something, when I feel a presence or have a gut instinct that something's going on, not only do our devices confirm it basically immediately, but also the entities or whatever energy is present basically seem to feed off of what I'm giving it. So if I show up, I have those feelings. It's almost like a snowball effect where the energy increases over time and it's almost like they want to show me what I'm feeling is real. So when we show up to these locations, we're trying to kind of just show up and do a general walkthrough when we start. We have limited amount of time. So the first thing we want to do is basically just walk through, get a sense of what's going on and see if we can pick anything up. We do that because we want to have a clean, unbiased investigation. We don't want any of our energy or predispositions about the location to basically dictate what the investigation will be. We want it to be clean and we want the results to be real. One of the craziest things about the Grandpa Jack house was just how clean everything was and just original and just seemed like a home that was stuck in the era that it was actually built in. So you already had a specific vibe and feeling walking into the home. So when we encountered that really like putrid, nasty smell in that room, it just reeked. It was just nasty. Like it's so nasty and foul. Like I could taste it, like just like rotting. It was really shocking to the senses because the place before that, we had basically figured it was a pretty clean, well-kept place. So to smell that was shocking. And at that time, I had never encountered something like that on an investigation. And I didn't know really that could be directly associated with dark energy and entities. And that night, I basically learned the hard lesson that when you encounter something like that, it's something that you take very serious and it's something that can indicate a dark presence, possibly even demonic. You can see as we're making our way through this location that we're uneasy. Basically, the whole time I'm like, oh shit, something's about to go down. I just had that bad feeling and the negative energy. And when the physical signs start to show up with the putrid smell, and then even as you guys saw, the Kinect camera just suddenly stopped working, batteries start to drain a little bit faster. These are things we've seen before in investigations, and that's usually leading into a huge oh shit moment. The next really shocking physical evidence we found there was the cloaked figure in the window. So that's something that even to this day, we've really never figured out what was going on there. We have our own ways and techniques to enhance footage, to give ourselves a clearer picture. We try to always share that with you guys so that you can see the full picture of the investigation. And this is one of those times where we really never figured it out. So it's just really unnerving that something was there. I mean, clearly you could see something was there watching us. And you could see in future clips that we felt the presence of that person, thing, whatever it was, watching us for the duration of the investigation. We already had this huge buildup of negative energy and bad feelings in this investigation. We decided to use the spirit box to see if we could get any clear communication from whatever was there trying to communicate with us. And it almost sounded like, not almost, it did sound like two entities or people or whatever were arguing via the spirit box. So that was a little unnerving. It was more negative energy to add. And then we got a direct threat. We were told by something very clearly to come get it. Come get it. How else am I supposed to interpret that? I mean, it felt like a pretty direct threat or egging on from whatever was trying to communicate with us. And looking back at that, I'm almost surprised we stayed, just because there was this negative buildup and I felt like it was about to peak, but we've got a job to do. So we stuck it out, and you'll see what happens next. Put yourself in my shoes, in our shoes. You have an entity, clearly some sort of dark spirit, possibly even demonic, egging you on, telling you to come and get it. How would you react? It's hard to see those things through when there's so much negative energy, and we're scared. I'll be honest with you, there's fear. So there's a lot of times where we had to egg each other on and kind of pump each other up just to continue on these investigations, because the physical and mental stress was just so great that it was almost too much to handle sometimes. We were using the Ovilus to continue the investigation in the hallway, and near the piano and basically in that general area, we got energy, and it just kind of played into what we were already feeling. Like, there's obviously some sort of negative energy here, and at this point, at least two of our instruments have confirmed it. At this point in the investigation, me and Casey were kind of at a crossroads of, do we want to do some more passive testing, or do we want to do something a little more direct, a little more provocative, like the Ouija board? So we're there, we're on a job. That's how we view it, right? We're there to capture whatever evidence we can of paranormal. And if we can capture a more extreme version of that, we just feel that the evidence is even stronger and we're just doing a better job. So on this particular investigation, we did opt to do the Ouija board. And that's something that we struggled with for a while. It took us legitimately probably 15, 20 minutes to make that decision. And once we did, we committed to it. And it didn't exactly go as planned.
I took my hand off it.
And remember, at that time, I had only maybe placed my fingers on a planchette of a Ouija board 3-4 times possibly. Like, I was pretty open to it going into the investigations and starting to film the show with Casey, but it's not something I really dabbled with too much, just because there was some negative energy there and something I didn't really want to be associated with initially, but I was open to it once we started filming. It's not like the stories you heard with Colton where he had some really negative experiences with it. I was a bit more open to it, so I basically just said fuck it and we went for it. During the Ouija board session, the energy amped way up. And I'm not saying my energy amped way up, because I would say the exact opposite is true. The negative energy in the home was cranking up, and I felt like something was pushing down on me, was crushing me physically and crushing my spirits. Just didn't feel motivated to continue. It almost felt like something was actually putting their hands on my shoulders and pushing me down into my seat and basically warning me, like, you're done here, right? And I didn't want to tell Casey how I was feeling necessarily, because I didn't want him to feel like guilty for continuing on with the investigation. So I kind of just sucked it up and I let what happened happen. And as you guys can see in the clip, what happened was not good. I had no idea that night when I lifted my hand off the planchette, by accident, of course, I had no idea the ramifications of that action and how much that would follow me for the next few years. Psychologically, I think a lot of it was psychological, of course, but I think the other part of it was undeniably real. Just the things that happened to me, what followed me, and, just the aftermath of that night. It kind of messed with my head for a while. So for one investigation, I kind of gave up 2 to 3 years of my own personal mental health. And I don't know if that showed in future episodes, but it had me on edge and it had me feeling like everywhere we went, I just couldn't escape whatever it was that either attached to me or became a part of me that night. It took me a few years to realize, while continuing to do these investigations and what was following me or attached me or whatever it was, that it wasn't going to go away as long as I was still doing these investigations. I needed time to recover. I needed to take some actions in my personal life to fix what I had done. And I honestly do believe that it all started that night. What pulled us away from the Ouija board session was a tap on the piano, a noise coming from that general direction that sounded like it was from the piano.
I took my hand off it.
And that's actually what caused me to fuck up and lift my hand off the planchette. So at that point, we tried to kind of zone back in and it was kind of lost. So we tried to respectfully end the session and apologize basically. And, no disrespect, just basically saying that we made a mistake and we're going to peacefully end our session. And from there, we went to investigate what that sound was. When we ventured to the hallway to investigate the sound, it felt like I walked into like a walk-in freezer almost. The instant chills, and I could even see it on Casey's skin, just the goosebumps he had, and it just made the hair on the back of my neck stand up, and I knew we were in the presence of something very real and something very powerful. I didn't choose to do what happened next. I know that seems crazy, but when I hit the piano key, obviously it was to provoke whatever was going on there, but that's the last thing I wanted to do. I didn't want any increase in energy, any more involvement in whatever was going on there. I was already all the way full. I could not handle anymore. I was basically just physically compelled to do it. Like I felt like I almost didn't have control of my own arm, my own hand, and I was pushed to do that. And I was almost entranced, like hypnotized in a way. And my hand just hit the key. And it was like I didn't even really make a conscious choice to do it. It was almost like I was just watching myself do it. And I was like an unwilling participant in this show. And then all hell broke loose.
Dude.
Out of all the investigations I've ever done, by far, this was the most real fear I'd ever felt. I felt like something had happened that actually put me in danger. It was something that was overwhelming. It was something that was just terrifying, is the best way I could describe it. And leading into this, with building a computer for Casey, getting in touch with him, doing investigations early on, the ones I had done myself in the past, even when I accepted the mirror and we did what we did with the mirror, there was a lot of stuff that came up that was unnerving, that put me on edge, that kept me up at night, even gave me nightmares. But nothing like this. Nothing that made me feel like my head was going to explode. Made me feel so overwhelmed that night, I promise you, I contemplated never filming again. Just because it didn't feel worth it, just to have that overwhelming sense of darkness and evil. So not only did it give me nightmares for probably 3 years, it also followed me everywhere I went. It affected my life, and I felt like I was putting off the energy that I absorbed that night for years. So it's one of those things that I don't necessarily regret it. And I don't regret going there and getting the information for the homeowner and helping him out. But I took on a big burden that night. And it was something that I didn't expect, and something that, you know, I guess I just didn't anticipate it would be on that level. I thought we'd find something, just because the guy that reached out had a really compelling story. Like, he had a really, really in-depth description of what was going on in the home, and I believed him. You know, my senses were in my gut was that he was telling the truth. So I knew we'd encounter something there, but I just could have never expected what we actually found and how it would affect me. So it's one of those times that makes you think, like, is this worth doing? But you keep on keeping on, because it's your job and you're helping people. And, you know, I felt like I was obligated to help Casey and continue investigating with them. So although it was like really negatively impactful on my life for a long time, it was just something that I kind of dealt with. And obviously I had my absence and I haven't been around for a few years. And now you guys are kind of learning why. It's just everything built up and built up and built up until it spilled over, right?
So obviously you never expected the risks getting involved with this, but you feel like you definitely paid for it, right?
Oh yeah, of course I paid for it. I paid for it in my relationships, with my family, past significant others, just feeling ostracized, feeling estranged and pushed out by different groups, and like people not understanding what I was going through. And yeah, absolutely, I paid the price. I paid a huge price, and it's something I've been fixing and trying to recover from.
There's no fucking way.
And I do want to continue investigating and continue creating content for you guys, and it's something I plan to do. So I paid the price for it. I recovered, I figured it out, and now I think I'm in a way better mental headspace to create the content and to continue investigating and just doing our thing. Even when we did our meet and greet with you guys, which was absolutely awesome. It was cool to meet so many of you and just have conversations and talk about stuff. By the end of the first day, and especially on the second day, I was really starting to feel a pressure of what was going on and what was still attached or involved from the Grandpa Jack investigation. I had many, many people, 30 people, 40 people say, hey, I can feel something going on with you. I can feel whatever happened that night. And it's not gone. It's not going away. And it was just a wake-up call. It was just a realization that, like, damn, this is real. It's something I have to figure out. It's something I have to deal with. So I do appreciate you guys having my back there and telling me to my face in person that something was going on, that you were trying to help me. So I appreciate that, you guys. Because I was in denial, and you guys helped me see that. And I felt like I was just in a fog, and I just couldn't figure out exactly what happened, or exactly, I guess, the depth of the attachment or whatever was going on. And I needed to start to work to fix it and to figure things out. And the mind's a very powerful thing. I blacked out a lot of stuff, a lot of traumas from investigations, particularly that one. I just tried to push out of my mind so that we could just continue forward, but they would always rear their ugly head no matter what I did. So just to be clear, this channel is just me and Colton. We're basically the misfits of Mindseed TV, and we've branched off to do our own thing and to give our fans and the fan base we've built up over the years what they want. Investigations, videos like this. You've seen what the other channel's doing and the direction it's headed, and we're heading in this direction, and we're happy that you're here watching. We're happy that you guys are here supporting. So as we bootstrap this thing, we're putting our own money into travel, into equipment, and we're just getting started. So the best way you guys can support us would definitely be Patreon. There's going to be exclusive stuff there, but we're not going to overpromise and underdeliver, right? We're not on a set schedule just yet. We're just getting our feet wet, and we're figuring out how we want to do all this. And we really appreciate your guys' support in the meantime. Another cool way to support us is the merch. Colton designed some really dope stuff in the past, and he's going to design some really dope stuff for us here. So that's another great way to do it. And then when we go live, super chats, ask us anything, join the Discord. We're going to build up this community. We're going to take a lot of our old fan base, and we're going to build something brand new. It's really exciting, and we appreciate you guys coming to check it out, and we love you. And for those of you that don't have the means to support us in those ways, totally understandable. We still love you. We still want you around. Just engage with the content. Like it, comment on things, share it with your friends, and just view the videos we put out. And that is more than enough support. And we appreciate the hell out of you for even doing that. Comment any questions you guys have, and I'll be sure to answer every single comment on this video. And we appreciate you guys for tuning in. That's it. Peace.